How are you guys doing? Uh, Welcome for today's session. And as the meeting link said, we have a guest today who is Kaw, Glory Kawira. She and I were in the same team in a certain mentorship program. I was there and it will be really nice to hear her perspective on data. And I know we have been working on Power BI, but I decided to invite her to speak to us about data analysis and what the industry expects from us. And let me not talk much. Let me allow her to introduce herself so that she can. Yes, let me welcome Kawira. So, welcome, Kawira. You can just unmute and speak. And if you can, on your end, can you unmute? You can just type in the chat and then I'll be able to see if you can unmute on your end. I can't hear you. Can you hear her, Rachel? Let me try and enable interactivity. Maybe it's disabled on this side. Or, yeah, let me try and change. You can send a presenter request. I know when you send a presenter request, it will allow me to give you the permission to be the presenter. You can look at there down at the three dots where it indicates more, and then you can click there. Yeah, I've seen Rachel has tried. And Rachel, how have you done it so that you can guide Kawira?
My hand. I don't know. I just clicking then. Try raising your hand.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
Hello, yes, I can hear you.
Okay, a minute. So, good evening, guys. I hope you're doing well. I see you are not quite a number. I don't know if you're waiting for others or we just start, Wangari.
We can just start because we were supposed to be four of us, but five, we are usually five to six
Wow.
because it's a study group, but
Mm-hmm.
one of us is not around, so she'll be joining late. Yeah.
Wow, nice. I like that. I like that the group is small, it's manageable. So, thank you for inviting me for this session. I'm glad for the opportunity and the progress you guys are making when you're in school. For those who don't know me, my name is Kawira Mutuiri. Maybe some background check. I'm currently working in banking. For security purpose, I will not mention the bank I am at right now. But I'm glad we met with Nancy. As she has said, we met through another community like this one for data. So it means you're interested in data. My background is economic and statistics. That is academically, let me say academically, because I think I'm one of those people who finish school without knowing what I'd learned in school. I thought it's more of research work, and then I found I'm not interested. So I went into accounting CPAs. I know most of you might not go that direction because yours is purely data science, you would go mostly to IT. But yeah, I did the constat, came out here. I never knew what I could do. My interest then was accounting, so I did CPA. Finished my CPA, started practicing here and there. Later on, as we were told, I'm a millennial, by the way. Our time we are being told you just pick any job that comes your way. So I found myself in corporate after some years in graduation. I found myself in corporate as sales in a circle. After some time, I felt it's not my like. I felt I'm not growing. It's not my desire. You know the way you are just in a job for bills. So I decided to check something else, and I went to audit. Well, there is when I discovered I think accounting is not my thing. So then I found this opportunity in banking that enabled me now to have an interaction with data, yeah, and how data works. But before I joined and already initiated that interest, when I found data analysis, I was like, This is not far from what statistics was. It's just that my time. I don't know about you guys. I would like this section to be as interactive as possible because we are not many. Our time, most things were theoretical. I don't know if that's how Chuka is. I was in Joro. So our time, most of the things were theoretical. I don't know about you guys. How is it like right now? I would like to know so that I know where I can pick you from.
It is still theoretical, literally pure theoretical, hakuna any practical.
Aye, and you guys are doing data.
Computer science mostly, and I know Rachel is doing information science. The only thing we do practical probably the projects and you guide yourself.
And then you have a lot of work to do. But at least you guys, in your time, you have laptop. Our time, imagine even a laptop was not a must. Neither was an attachment. So, but anyway, at least you already know the importance of a community, because actually what helped me transition to was a community. I joined an accounting community. From there, I was CPA has introduced something called business analytics. I was like, let me upskill so that I see how I can get out of this where I am. I don't want to be. So from there, that's the power of communities, by the way. So I started online classes. From there, I was able to transition. From there now I got to LinkedIn and all that. That's how I learned about data, went to YouTube and all that. But so far, then I think Kenyan education system has not changed. Because if you're still doing theoretical, and even our time it was theory, then there's a huge gap. And I appreciate that you are finding people who are already into the practice. So my day to day, like currently I'm in finance. we are divided into, as a data analyst, you can find yourself in some organization, especially startup. You are just inside another department. Like for us, data is in finance, but data engineers, data science is in IT. So mostly, data analysis is like the front end of everything data. You understand? We mostly deal with data that has already been structured and all that. I'll get into the details later. But my point is, you are in the right trajectory, but at least you know, because during my time I don't think even there were communities, or if there were, I was not interested. We just had people used to come to talk to us as a group, you know, those, if you have economics group, statistics group, so they invite outsiders to come and talk to us. But there's nothing like practical, so they will take you through a session, then later on give you certificate. I don't know if those things still exist. Do they exist, Rachel? I can't see the that person. Rachel, I'm speaking to you. Hello, Rachel. Can you hear me? Hello, Nancy.
Can see,
Guys, are you there?
I can see Rachel has unmuted, but I can't hear her.
Okay. Who is the that person?
It's Barbara.
Okay. Barbara is doing which course?
She's a computer science student in fourth year. She's on her last semester, but she
Oh,
told me
that's nice.
she'll join late. I guess she's occupied where she was, so I guess she'll be joining
No
us.
problem.
Yeah, but I do get
No
the
problem.
point you've said.
Yeah, but I would like us to be interactive as possible. So that's the power of communities. So from there, so my day to day, like what our data does, because banking is so structured, and no, you might not all of you get into banking or finance or something like that. You might find yourself in a different industry, for example, maybe telecommunication, a company like Safaricom. You might find yourself in something like health or whatever. But currently, my observation with data in Kenya, it's not that broad, and like the market has not appreciated the need of data analysis. So you find that mostly the market is, the people offering them, they are like the stable companies. It's very rare, like for example, you find a company, for example, in the Rakaniti or Meru having a data analyst, right? I don't know if you have tried to check around within your attachment or something like that, right?
Yes,
I don't know your experience with attachments, but the Kenyan market has not yet appreciated data. So you find that it's either you work in insurance, you find insurance companies, banking, telecommunication. Yeah, there's a time I went for an interview in a hospital, but private hospitals, and rarely will doctors, like the health sector will prefer someone who is like has done a medical course, because they understand the domain knowledge. I don't know if you have found something like domain knowledge. Have you heard something like that?
I've not heard of something like that.
Domain knowledge is whereby, like for example, me, I have a background in accounting. So accounting got me in because I knew accounting. So I'm able to analyze financial data more than someone who has not been to accounting, who has never done accounting. So write it. Domain knowledge it gives you an upper edge if you ever work as a data analyst, because you'll be analyzing either health data, right? Or mostly what is in YouTube is sales, of which sales is very, it's a bit simpler, of finance. So for me, like CPA got me in because I knew my way around accounting, and it's easier for me to understand the data that I'm interacting with it. And for me to show you that domain knowledge is important, during my interview, we had someone who was upskilled. You know, during our time, we never had something like data science. Data science, I guess, has been introduced as a course maybe 5 years ago. So I and someone who had upskilled to data. And during the interview, for me, they picked the accounting part. At times, domain knowledge can act to your advantage or disadvantage. But once you get in, it was to your advantage. The interview actually was interested in this opportunity because I am that they have a data department and they would rotate us. So I and a friend of mine, the lady we got in with her. I don't know if I've told you that, Nancy.
No, you have not told me that.
So this lady, she had done data science at Moringa. It was not a background. It's like, Moringa courses are short, right? 6 months or 1 year. So she got in because of the data science. But once in, I was at a better position to understand data than her because she never earned the accounting knowledge. Because our data deals with loans, disbursement of those loans, interest. Like, for example, my day-to-day work revolves around revenue assurance. You analyze whether the interest has accrued well. I know for you, the one accrual might be new to you because you don't have accounting background. Um, Liquidity, such things. So someone who has a back, because I had an advantage of accounting, I understood better. And imagine after our 6 months, I was absorbed and she was not. I don't know why they didn't prefer, but for her, she majored mostly on the tools. You see, she never had an accounting knowledge, and it's like she was not interested. So this is also to say, once you finish school and you get an opportunity, Barbara, is your hand raised? No, you can ask a question if you have. I'll give you like some time to ask. So if you get an opportunity right now, if I was to go back, I'll yeah, I'll not tell you guys just pick anything that comes your way. Pick something that aligns with you. But if you get, for example, you're in computer science and you get an opportunity maybe into banking, insurance, take it. It will help you understand the industry of insurance. Because, like, personally for me, if I was to go in an interview, someone who studied actuarial science and me, I did the constat, and we all interviewing for data, they will most likely pick the actuary because she understands the domain knowledge. Now you have understood the domain knowledge.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, because you're not just taking random data. It's data related to a certain industry, and mostly what is in the internet. Because also me, before I got opportunity, I used to do it's sales projects, right? I don't know if you guys have interacted with projects that are not sales. Have you?
Personally, I have not.
Yeah, so that is what is in the market, and that is the gap I found out when I got in. So now the bridge of data, and so data is wide, especially you guys that are in computer science. You can fall into data analysis, data science, data engineers. So for us, like, transactions happen in banking, right? Customers come to withdraw money, people take loans. At the end of the day, there's something called core banking. Core banking is how the banking industry runs. There are tools, of course, there are systems like T24 and others, but or Oracle. But mostly Kenyan banks used the structured banks used T24. So at the end of the day, someone known as data engineer now, that data is in form of flat files. They put that data. So as a computer science student, you can find yourself there as a data engineer. So they put that data, then they store them in folders. The system is already structured. I guess I was talking to Nancy on the same. The system is already structured. So as an analyst, mostly you find yourself in the front end of data. I don't know if you are getting the pipeline, the all that is for the engineers or the data science. It will depend with the name they are calling, but their work is the same. So you find that a tool like Power BI belongs to Barbara. Which company? Or Nancy?
Microsoft.
Why are your people not talking?
I know why they're not talking. Maybe because okay, they can just answer. Let me, Barbara and Rachel, you guys talk. We usually talk. I guess maybe they're trying to familiarize themselves with you and then they'll speak.
Okay. You see, at times it's good to be interactive because if you guys don't talk, I don't know where like, the information is a lot, as I told you. So I don't know what to give you and what not to give you. So once these files, like now, if you find yourself as a data engineer, expect to that is something else people don't tell you guys. Like on Sunday, our IT department slept at the office. Are you ready to be sleeping at the office? It's part of your work. Nancy, are you ready to be sleeping at the office? Yesterday,
Hey.
they were changing the networks. You know, computer is wide. Like for you, if computer, you can also find yourself in security or networks, right? Not only data. Don't limit yourself. So we were changing the, what is it called? The internet. I don't know how you call it in computer world. So yesterday, I understand they slept at the office. That is something else people don't tell you guys. Even finance is very busy. You can leave the office even at 10 and you go to continue to work. So working hours at times they are not that flexible depending on where you fall. But because for experience purposes, just bear. Then as you get into the industry, you learn. But at times IT they find themselves in that, but they're allowed to work at home because that core banking runs daily. As I've told you, banking is a bit what can I call it? Systematic. So that core banking, at times you can wake up and find that people run that core banking at 3 a.m. So the working hours can be a bit bewildered, but some companies compensate you, of course. They buy for you data, and yeah, there are some allowances here and there. So that's another part you should take in. The hours at times are not flexible. You can be called even when you're at home to come because a server has that there's a technical issue with the server or something like that. I don't know if you're aware of that, guys, but yeah. So that's the domain knowledge. So once that core banking runs, they store them in some folders. Like the banking now, we use something T24 goes with something called R16. So in the morning, your work is to come and put those data. It's already structured, like everything. There's no even data cleaning there in the normal report. Everything like is done for you. So if it's like I was telling Nancy, if it's Power BI, if you join a company like Safaricom, you already meet a structured system. So it's hard to get the back end of data of Power BI to see how the pipelines are. So you find yourself now everything is done for you. Like it's just to come and automate, refresh, pick the numbers, send the report, and email the report. So yeah, that's it. So once you understand that's what I was telling you, the domain knowledge is important. As much as you guys are learning tools, don't stick so much to tools. If you can identify your domain knowledge as early as now, you say maybe my interest is this, my interest is this, start searching for project in that area or during your attachments. Or Nancy, which year are you?
I'm in third year. I'm about to do my attachments in
Yes,
May.
in May. So right now you're in school up to May, yeah. I thought in 2025, yeah. Okay. So during your attachment, you can identify, okay, try to identify an industry that you like. But even if you don't, just get what is available, but along what you want. Me currently, I can't advise anyone to just pick anything. Don't just go and be like, okay, if bills, of course we have to pay the bills once you're out here, but if possible and if you have someone who can support you like a parent, try to get what you want, then start small. Other than maybe go and become a shopkeeper, it's not bad. I did that, but at times it will waste your time. Don't overstay. They have the vision of, yes, I'm here for now, but this is not what I want, and build your portfolio as. But if you can identify your domain knowledge, do I want like banking? Do I want insurance? Do I want telecommunication? Do I want, because the domain is so wide, do I want health? Where do I want? Because data is not like, at times the market has made it seem like data is a vacuum, like it exists on its own. No, it doesn't exist on its own. Actually, before this thing, accountant used to do that. It's just that they were not called data analyst, because currently, like some of like for us in accounting, like today, the accountant needed to know SQL, because you have to put report depending on the industry you find yourself. If you find yourself in big organization, the room to grow and to learn more is. But if you find yourself in a small organization, still no worries, it will give you exposure and experience. So try to find what's my interest as I go out, so that you're able to position yourself for that domain knowledge as early as possible. But if you miss, also don't stay at home and say I'm not getting what you want, because at times I've realized school, what is taught in school and at the ground is so different. You can, like, for me, I thought I like accounting, but when I went to the real work, I found it's not my interest. So I'm trying to get myself out of there. So if you lack what you want, pick what is available, but also don't overstay there. You understand? So during your attachment, if you can know this is my domain and start looking in that direction, yes. On project, I would just say don't rely on the sales project, because I also used to do sales a lot because that is what is available. Of course, the market insists on tools. Tools are not banned. I will not tell you not to know tools. They will help you in the interviews. But once you pick a tool, just make sure you optimize it. If it's, for example, SQL, because like I'm sure computer science has SQL, just make sure you understand the ins and out of SQL. Even if it's one one language like MySQL or Postgres, just because these things just change a little. Like, for example, currently in my where I work, we were using MySQL, but because of the cost and all that of the system, they want to change to Postgres. You see, now, like, the people who just knew MySQL, they just have to learn Postgres, but it's not hard as long as you know the syntax of queries. You understand? So basically, very rarely will you find a company in Kenya like the starting Power BI from the scratch. So mostly, if you become an analyst, you'll be interacting with the front end, whereby everything is automated for you. You just refresh as long as you understand the nature of the data, and you can have your way. And then there's something called rights. Have you heard of rights, Nancy?
No, I've not heard of rights.
Rights is they incorporate. This is whereby you are restricted. For example, if today you get a work at maybe uh let me just use finance. Rights is whereby you cannot access Power BI, for like you are not authorized, like, to change something, to edit. You only allowed to view. You get.
Yeah, I get it. It's
You're
just
allowed
read
only.
only. You can't write on it.
Yes, so those things are called rights. So you find like your supervisor has rights, that, like, maybe if you want to correct customers' details, there's someone who is ahead of you in terms of the structure of the organization who can. So they're called rights. So once you get in, of course, you get in at an entry level. Unless you a startup, this structured organization is just mostly viewing, because even for us, Power BI has been distributed to the branches, but at only viewing. I don't know if you guys know Power BI as something called row level security, whereby you're only allowed to review what is pertains to your department. For example, if you have a branch at Chuka, branch at Nairobi, the person who is in Nairobi cannot view the Chuka's data. Only the administrators who can view. Of course, that is meant so that no one can edit like that, even Excel as such. So those things are called rights. Yeah. So it will be hard for you to interact. So currently, at your level Power BI, just know data cleaning. As much as you might not interact with it daily, it's important. Know data modeling. Modeling is whereby, because projects mostly deal with one table. On a normal day, rarely will you meet an organization that data is just one-sided, one way. For example, you'll find that you have a file for customer transaction, you have a file for loans account portfolios, then you have a file for profit and loss. So there's something called data modeling that is in Power BI. I'm sure you have interacted with it. Understand that for now, and then Power Query, because once you understand that, everything else is just automated for you guys. But for now, I would advise, if you have picked a tool, master it inside out, because you guys have have the advantage of time. For us people who are working, we don't have that time to look at things to the perfection. So if you're in school right now, I'll not say tools are not important, but once you get a tool, at least be structured in it such that it will get you to the interview room, because interviews will based on that. If you get to the structured organization, of course you will have the amplitude test that involves that. So get that. If it's coding, know one programming language and master it well. Don't jump to R tomorrow you're in Python, and just make sure you understand and do projects on that. Yeah. I don't know if there's any other question, or anyone who has a question, or anything that I've left out, or anything you'd like to be covered. Because today I just felt that because you guys are not interacting with you until Nancy, let me come in just for the introduction. We know one another. Then you can pick something that if it's something you want to be taught, now we can organize on that. If it's a question, yeah. Thank you.
Kawira, I have one question. You
Okay.
said something on you when you the work you do is just like reviewing and writing down and then submitting a report. Now the report part is what I'm asking. What does it entail? Like, yeah, what are you reporting? Like, how is the structure of the report?
Okay, so I do okay on my desk right now on a daily basis. I do like 3 reports, and they are very manual. Actually, okay, basically we use Excel. I guess I told you that the Kenyan market is very, what do I call it? They don't want to changes, because I understand that Power BI has been to the organization, I guess, for some years, but people are resistant to change. You understand? So mostly, I don't know if you have seen those memes on LinkedIn whereby you find that you have done everything in Power BI, but your boss requests the report on Excel. Have you seen those memes, you guys?
Yeah, I've seen some of them.
Yeah. So most companies actually operate in Excel. That is, if you ever find yourself in data analysis side. So mostly, like almost everyone there uses Excel, from analyst. They write queries. We have Power BIs, but mostly most reports are on Excel. So my day to day, I just report to work. There's something called integration. Integration, as I've told you, is whereby we have the system, the normal core banking. Like if you go to deposit some money, the teller or whoever will put some money will click something into the system. You understand? So that system will pick it. It's called T24, but that system cannot. The system cannot create financial statement. So you have another system called Microsoft Dynamics. I don't know if you have heard of it. Most small organization, even supermarket, uses that mostly. Have you heard of Microsoft Dynamics?
And I've not heard of it.
So you just write your check on it, but that is not something you can learn online. Yeah, you can just check, but it's something simple from the front end. Most organizations use that, circles, supermarkets. So that is what you use for reporting. So in the morning, I wake up, there's something called general ledger. If you have interacted with accounting, general ledger is where those any transaction made in the bank, it goes to a general ledger. You understand? Then the accounting, there's something called profit and losses. So those accounts, now chart of account. You are making me get to accounting, but you just have to bear with me. There's something called chart of accounts. These customers have transacted, everything is in this GL. Everything is in the GL. And then there's something now called this profit and loss. It's called a categ. So my work is in the morning to integrate the two systems, to find like whatever was accrued by the system and whatever we expected, or whatever is in the GL and whatever is now these account transactions. Those are accounting things. They agree. So my first work is to check if the general ledger is balancing, because balance, I'm sure you have heard of accounting talking of balancing. You have to ensure the general ledger is balancing. Once they are balancing, you are good to go. So I know that figure. Then I go to the account transactions, special accounts, and those profit and losses to see if the accruals accrued well. Once I'm done with that, now I report you. We report mostly using emails. Corporate mostly operates with emails. So you report. From there, that is everything is in Excel apart from those you are trying to pull. So there's a template. It's a very simple template if you're interacting with Excel. So I screenshot those and do a report. Then I go to the second report. It's called liquidity. Liquidity is whereby you check the how liquid we are as a bank. Liquid is whereby how much cash do you have in case of anything goes wrong. Can you pay your debts? Something like that. So that involves also other reports. And as I've told you, data is not is not somewhere in the space. So there's a department called treasury that runs that. They pull reports, they also send to us. So you check with those reports and automate, like you fill your reports, your template. You understand? But all this is accounting. So that's why I'm telling you, having a domain knowledge helps you. So once I'm done with that, I go to another report now called revenue assurance. Revenue assurance is whereby you are checking if your accruals accrued well, depending what was expected and what accrued, and you check the variances. And if there's any, like if there's someone who booked maybe a deposit wrongly in the officers who are serving, I'm able to flag them and escalate them maybe through emails and such. Yeah, I don't know if I'm using a lot of jargon, but I hope you have understood. But everything is through Excel. If it's for data, they also have their reports that they do. Actually, what we do and what data does is not different, because the organization, the way it's structured, data mostly deals with portfolio. Portfolio means loans. If you hear the word portfolio in banking, it means loans. It's just it can mean many things, but it means loans, different loans that are there. So for them, they deal with the loans. For us, we deal with the financial part. So also them, they have like, you wake up in the morning, there's something called the different types of loan that you do. So mostly it's a template. It's something once you're in the organization, they orient you on how to do it. From there, you can either improve it once you master it. Yeah. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yeah, you've answered my question. So yeah, I'm now like leaving the floor to the rest of the members to ask.
And I don't know if I'm adding value, you guys.
Yeah, you have added value because you've actually, okay, personally, you've shifted my mind from not just tools, but having that knowledge on the particular field that you'll work on, not just mastering the tools, because the tools that you've mastered now might be different from
Yeah, it's
the
called
tools
domain
that you've
knowledge.
mastered
Just go and
now.
check it.
Yeah, it might be different from what you're going to be using in the next, let's say, 5 years when you're getting into the industry, especially how it usually evolves sometimes. So the change in tools, but your mastery in analysis and the domain knowledge that you've mastered of that particular field is actually the okay, for me it's actually what is actually one of the most important things when in data analysis. I don't know if that is correct.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Domain knowledge actually matters, because you find that, like, you can say find someone in computer science and immediately went to banking and specialized in core banking system. There's something called core banking analyst. I don't know if you guys checked jobs. I told you, Nancy, you should start looking for jobs. Don't joke with this matter. Kenyan market is tough. If you get a job when you're a student, you are at a, even if you work for 4 months, it will help you. So lately, I guess a month ago or some few days ago, I guess it's Absa Bank and advertised for core banking analyst. You see me, I can be an analyst, but I don't understand core banking. You understand that system I'm telling you. So you can find someone finished school and found a work in banking, and they went with the line of core banking. Core banking, they can't even go to another line. Okay, specialization is good if you get into big companies, but if you get into small companies, learn as much as possible. That's the advantage of small companies. But I understand what you are saying. Someone picked core banking analyst and they went with it, and yeah, they became expert in that. So domain knowledge, start asking yourself, where would I like to work? And if you don't like long working hours, finance is not for you. At times you find yourself even working up to Sundays. And I'm not
Kwanza,
discouraging you.
hapo kwa kustay the whole night.
No, that
We,
is like IT. Hiyo
eh,
ni kitu tushazoea, because even in my previous company utapata time server imeharibika na mnaenda kwa mlima, si unajua hizo server zinakuanga sijui, I don't know what they are called. I'm not so much into the tech side of I'm not so much into the IT, but my previous company at times they used to go nini, unapata hao watu wameenda sijui Nyambene Hills mali nini zao ziko. So once in a while, if you're in IT, you have to work late. Depending, okay, yeah, depending on the company, let me just say that. But you guys are young. Ampasi kuwa mnashtuliwa na hiyo. You see, if you are seeking growth, don't look at the money at the beginning. Look at the value. By the saa hii unapaswa nani ameniambia anaenda kumaliza shule? What is her name? Let me check.
Barbara.
Barbara by now anapaswa kuwa at least anajua what domain do I want. Then once there, usiangalie pesa sana, pesa will come. Don't actually avoid hata kwenda kwa interview. Don't avoid kujiintroduce, my name is Kawira Mutuiri, I'm a graduate in this and this. Those things don't matter out here, guys. Show value. Because no one is going to hire you. I was telling someone else mwenye amefanya engineering amemaliza shule juu. No one is going to hire you because you have a degree. Currently, the probability of getting a degree in Kenya, I guess, ukitoka tu hapo nje, the next person you meet is a graduate. So, and value. Jiulize, yes, nimeitwa kazi Safaricom or maybe whatever organization, insurance company or whichever. What value? Introduce yourself with value. Avoid to tell people, me, I'm a computer scientist. No, what value are you adding to me? Yes, you are a computer scientist, so what? It's not adding value to me. Show me value. What are you bringing to the table? Try, as in, before you finish school, try, avoid could introduce, yes, my name is Nancy, I'm a graduate of computer science. No, try to show value. I can help you with systems, something like that, that will either solve a problem. I don't know if you guys are understanding, because out here no one cares about the certificate. Yeah, degree still matters in Kenya. I'm not trying to say education is not important. It's the bare minimum, because the Kenyan market still recognizes degree. But out there, if you are getting to Upwork and remote work, they don't really matter. But once you're in Kenya, of course, everyone here is in school, so you have the nini. So I'm not discouraging anyone. But once you're out, show value. Even in the interview room, try to show the value you are bringing. Try to show the value. Try even use AI to show the value that I can get with this interview. Then once there, work your way out. Learn as much as possible. Yeah.
There's a question in the chat from Rachel.
Sorry, I'm not checked.
Okay. How do you know or get your domain knowledge if you don't know how to go about it?
I think I answered that when I said, once you are out here, for example, there are people who are generally interested in health but hawakupata hizo points za kuingia kwa medical fields. Ni ukweli, we know the Kenyan system. So maybe akaenda kwa computer but angetaka kufanya kwa OC. So that's how you know this is my interest. So you start looking for jobs in the area of medical. You understand? Maybe you're interested in banking, you have been admiring bankers. If that is your interest, then you know my interest is in banking. Maybe your interest is in insurance, but if you don't know your interest is still okay. For me, I exposed myself to so many things until I knew my interests. So kama hujajijua, I would say for growth, interact with so many things. That's why I said hata unaweza pata you did computer science, but once you're in the ground, kama vile nawaambia kuna long working hours at times, unapata hata it's not your interest. Maybe my interest is tailoring, of which is not bad. So that's how you know it's about interest. What my interest, then you unaangalia kama hiyo field ikona something to do with IT or computer or data that I can work in. That's how you know your domain. If you don't, pick the opportunity that comes your way, as I had said. But once you get in one, this is not what I like, don't overstay. You have heard that Japan proverb that says, if you find yourself in the wrong bus, the earlier you get, the better, because if you continue for long, you pay higher cost. If for example today umemaliza shule na kesho unaitiwa kazi ya supermarket as a cashier, usikatae hata kama uko na computer science. That is what I mean. Kama hujapata opportunity ingine, go for it, but as you go for it, jiambie this is not where I want to be. Try to find an exit plan, and once you are there, hiyo pesa unapata kidogo, invest for other things like courses, upskilling, bado kuongezea portfolio yako. Once you try to understand how data works in supermarket, but even supermarket, especially the larger ones. I know someone who started at Carrefour na sahi akapelekwa Carrefour Dubai. That's another industry unforgotten, but this small supermarket si rahisi upate, you understand. So that's another retail market pia inatakanga analyst sana. Like a month ago, Gilani's in Nakuru and advertised for data analyst. So that's how you know your interest, Rachel. I don't know if I've answered your question, and I wish you could. Unajua times talking, see the same na message. I'm able to get you more better when you talk, guys. Kindly, I would encourage you talk. I don't know if I've answered you. Unmute and speak. Nancy, we are waiting for you. And guys, I'm encouraging you to speak. Rachel nakupea ruhusa ya kuongea na utaki. I don't know guys if you know someone called Alan Juma. Hello,
Yeah,
Nancy.
Rachel. Yeah, Rachel. Okay, Rachel, you can speak now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Kawira. Guess I have gotten, you have answered the question. Like I should go with probably an interest or place ningetaka kufanya kazi ama nilikuwa nataka kufanya kazi alafu nikajipata kwa tech. So I can try to look for some opportunities kama hizo. Thank you.
Yeah, and as I've also said, usingoje interest yako. Ukipata opportunity yenye inafunguka, usikae kwa nyumba, because also it's easier to get a job guys when you're in another job. I don't know kama umesikia hiyo. Nancy, have you ever heard of that? People saying
Yes,
that
I've actually heard of that like a lot.
it's easier to get a job when you're in another job, because also the market haitaki mtu ako idle. You'd rather go and say ulikuwa hata kwa security as a wanaitango aji wale watchman. Once there you're able to understand and interact with people, usikae kwa nyumba. But once kwa hiyo security ama kwa hiyo supermarket as a cashier, tell yourself this is not, because kuna mtu huenda pale anapotelea pale anakaa pale 10 years. See, I'm also sure mmesikia cases kama hizo, ama teaching. Not that those courses are wrong, but if it's not you, because personally I made a mistake there. If you overstay somewhere, jiambie yes, this is my opportunity right now, but nitaendelea kuapply, nitaendelea kubuild CV, nitaendelea kubuild my portfolio. Yes, that's how you know your interest. Hata unaweza pata that's your interest and you go with it. Yeah. So si must pia ungoja ile interest yako. Whatever the opportunity itafunguka, yes, but try as much as possible kutafuta kwa ile field unataka. Na Kenya kuna kazi, guys, don't be discouraged, especially for you guys who are finished school. Amjaanza kuambiwa ageism. There's something also called ageism. Ageism ni ile people are discouraging you because of age. As you get to that is, no one will want you for entry level. For example, sasa ulimaliza shule ukaingia kama niyo maybe cashier ukakaa for like 5 years. By the time urudi kama niyo computer science, someone will say no. Si watu watakata, but kuna hiyo, there's that something being called ageism in the industries. So try as much as possible to look for opportunities, then align yourself with there. Na pia ukipata hiyo, try you guys, you know YouTubers kama kina Alex the Builder, kina Luke. Try to look for YouTubers who are into data and learn from them. Na for example, kama umepata hiyo job, try to sell something and buy their courses and also interact with more of their staff. Yeah, kuna swali ingine nimeona hapa ya, before I forget, do you know guys, mnawathingi interviews za YouTube za watu wa tech?
Me-
Do you interact?
Personally, I watch them not from just YouTube alone, even in other social media platforms.
Hebu niambie mtu mmoja wa IT mwenye unajua Kenya mwenye anajulikana.
No, you know
Ama
Susan Gatura, who is
mm,
from that data scientist.
nani mwingine? Amjui YouTube channel ya Global Sellers.
Oh.
There's a group of ladies wameanza hiyo tech nini inaitwa Global Sellers. There's also another lady sijui anajiitaji kwa YouTube. So I just wanted to encourage Rachel, guys, when you're given an opportunity, show up, speak your mind. That's where I've gotten where I am. Speak your mind as long as you're doing it with respect. Ukipewa opportunity ya kuuliza swali uliza. I'm saying this because go and check a guy called Alan Juma. Alan Juma is one of the tech people in Kenya mwenye anajulikana, na Alan Juma was a student like you guys, na I think hata kuwa amepita sana high school, but alikuwa ameinteract na computers at home because his mom alikuwa na cyber, so akagain hiyo interest ya computers like most people into computers, and they got into computer tech and all that. So this guy alipata job akiwa I guess second year, akachana na shule. And how did he get it? Through the way I'm telling you, communities networking. They just went to the networking, the way people talk. Aka like alikuwa anajitolea, he was showing up and being there. Then a recruiter noted him, akamwitia kazi. I don't know if it's Twiga or what, but go and listen to a story. So when you're given an opportunity, learn to speak. Usishy off. Unaona kama sahii tuko wanne if we in a group of like 100 people, so once you're given them, always ensure you have the mic, as long as what you are doing it with courtesy and respect. Learn to ask questions to keep your opportunity. That's how people are spotted, because like hizi multinationals mostly they spot talent juu kufika kule the system is so rigorous. Imesikia kitu inaitwa ATS?
Yeah, I've actually heard of it, yes.
ATS is applicant tracking system. That system is rejecting a lot of people, hata pure talent. So at times recruiters wananotingi watu kama LinkedIn, kama hizo forums za networking za students. So don't shy off from asking. Ukisikia kuna mtu kama another person you invite, come with questions. That's how people are spotted. So like that's how Alan got into the job market. After that, I guess he worked there for some, alikuwa anasema ni 8 months ama ni 6, akapata opportunity ingine. Saa hii Alan, I don't think Alan is 30. Now he has worked over 14 companies, including Google. Go and check his story. Ako kwa hizo nini. So don't shy off from asking questions. Na sisemi ukipata opportunity pia uachane na shule juu pia yameanza kurudi shule. I'm just saying Kenyan University pia kuna a lot of time wasting. Si ni kweli mnapata si ati mko busy throughout the week. Kwa hizo communities, kama uko hapa uko first year, try to look long holiday, avoid being at home. If you can find an opportunity na mzazi anakusupport. Here out, currently in Nairobi, you find that watu wanakuja kutafuta jobs hata wakiwa students. Hizo attachment and all that. So don't be idle. If your parent can support you, usikae kwa nyumba. As I've told you, it's easier to get a job when you have another job. Si siku hizi mnaona hata internships zinataka watu wako na experience, ama mtaona hiyo?
Yeah, nimeona.
Yeah. So if you can build what is it called, that experience once you're in school, you are going to go. Na pia si ati nakudiscourage if you don't get it. If you don't get it, interact with the online community kama hizi, being in a group ni poa. Interact with the online community, at least have something ya kuonyesha. Kuna groups pia they offer volunteership ya data. Una volunteer, mostly NGOs in the Western market. You can have something to write. So I don't know if there's another question. Nimeona kuna ingine hiyo nilikuwa nimenini. What's the difference between school and industry needs? Huyu atabindi afungue microphone because I've already explained to you guys. Nataka ajieleze vizuri aseme what exactly, because I think that is what we have been speaking about unless alikuja late. So ni nani? Ni Barbara? Who is it? Bosco. Bosco, kindly unmute and speak.
You can just like try and raise your hand and then I'll add you as a presenter if you are okay. You can now unmute and speak.
Hello everyone.
Hi.
I thank for this opportunity that you have granted to me. First and foremost, concerning na hiyo the question that I've asked, that was a comment from the teachings yenye nani amesema. So I was just commenting, and because recently I went to visit a friend of mine, then akanipatia some opportunity na alikuwa nataka kuangalia which part and which area that are good. It was like an interview that he was checking on me and my potential on those areas. So my main point was to people to understand the school and the industrial knowledge. Yeah, thank you.
Wow. So from your interaction, what did you find the difference between school and industry from what your friend gave you?
From that, a friend of mine told me that the industrial items or the industrial knowledge is totally different from the school knowledge, because hapo utapata you're working on a different time. Hapo lazima you are working on a jimangaje, kuna ile the permissions yenye unakwanga umewekewa and the standards yenye umewekewa than ile ya shule yenye unakuanga una work under.
Wow, yes. I think I've talked about that when zinaitwa rights. As I was telling Nancy, if today you get a job,
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
mostly kazi
exactly.
yako itakuwa kuview. That's what I was telling you guys. Rarely when you find a Kenyan company pobia una interact na the back end, utapata already the system is so structured. Kazi yako hata ni kurefresh na kuview as you start. But once you build yourself up, ina nini, so as Basco was saying, zinaitangwa rights, utapata una rights mingi, mostly ziko na administrator, supervisors, depending on the structure of the organization. Yeah, and as I was telling you, I don't know if you have guys, kama nyimo mna interact na LinkedIn sana, there's someone else mwenye alisema give people an opportunity, everything can be learned. Mmesikia hiyo?
Yes.
Like personally, as I told you guys, mi nilimaliza shule hata I think I never touched a computer in school, like apart from ile hata like cyber work nilikuwa naenda yani hata vitu za one document. But currently where I am, as Nancy was calling me today, nimeanza kusoma VBA, that is the Excel part of programming, because as I've told you, I'm in a mostly nini yetu tunatumia Excel na it's very repetitive work. So I started asking myself, how can I learn this more? Nikaelewa, nilifanya hiyo time nilikuwa naambia between ku switch off, nilienda nikaenroll for some online classes with some school, nikafanya Python, na sasa naona hiyo VBA si ngumu sana, si ati nawaambia muende mkaisome because si ati mtahitaji. I'm just trying to tell you, once you are in, you are able to know something that hata mtu akuwa na hiyo opportunity angekuja afunzwe. So like there's nothing hard as long as unajitolea na unajituma once you are in, because hata hiyo VBA si kila mtu akona, watu wamekuko for years na wajaifikiria, but personally I started, so sasa nafanya some YouTube za hiyo so that I learn. And the way hata nikikuja nilikuwa najiambia, oh my goodness, I never thought I would get into programming, the way I hated mambo na computer and all that, I never thought. But exposure, someone said exposure is a different kind of learning. As Bosco has said, right, that after even as you bring your children, know that after umemalizana na formal education, expose yourself as much as you can. That's what nawaambia, msijilimit nje, ila job itakuja, enda nayo, but jua this is not where I want to end. So exposure is a different kind of education. Yeah. So as you said, the environment is different. Yeah, I don't know if there's someone else who has a question.
Hello.
Hello.
So you said that after school you took a CPA course. So my question is, with the IT students, can we also take the CPA course, and can we transition like from our course to doing accounting through the CPA?
Oh, do you want the truth or you want the half truth?
I'm just curious to know if we can
Because
transition.
I might be biased. Let me just ask, is your interest accounting? Because kuna mtu unawapatanga alifosiwa kwa IT na kuwa anaitaka ama anaona ikiwa ngumu. That's why I'm asking, because I want to be a bit customized with your answer.
In accounting.
Are you
So,
interested in accounting?
pardon?
Are you interested in accounting?
Yeah, I'm interested.
Okay, for now, if you are offered a job as an accountant, as a computer scientist, like an IT job, what you do pick?
I would love to work in a bank.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, as you said, there's some co-banking analyst, something like that. So I don't know if it's pure accounting or.
Okay, for me, let me tell you, for me, I think I've reached where I am na si ati hata nimeenda mbali because of following what I was interested in. Nilisema nilifanya constat na sikuwa naipenda because it was theoretical, a lot of assumption. Ilikuwa inakaa something out of my touch then because it deals with a lot of policies. Some of my classmates waliingia kwa government. Yeah. So, but when I was in high school, nilikuwa napenda business. So I was like, where can I go to practice because it's a constat? Naona imatch na reality. So for me, and even before I joined campus, nilikuwa nimefanya CPA. But as where I'm standing now, because imejua interest yangu ni data, accounting is acting as to my disadvantage. As I told you, tulikuwa tumeenda interview na another lady. Kenyan market bado ina value degrees. So they tend to place me in finance more than data, hata kama statistics iko close to data. So mi kama interest yako si kabisa, si must ufanye CPA so that you get into banking. No, those people hata si ati wamefanya CPAs. That core banking is under IT department. IT iko na core banking, iko na data science, iko na watu wa security, iko na watu wa admin. It has like over 20 guys there, different. Si must ufanye accounting so that uingie kwa banking. So if you are interest kabisa si accounting ya tunataka kuwa kwa bank, don't be there to do accounting. Itaku confuse. You understand? I'm just saying, if your interest is banking, anza kutafuta job banking kama mtu in IT department ama analysis. Don't confuse with CPA because at times ukiapply jobs watu hata wanakuwa confused. This person anatafuta job ya data, amefanya constat, amefanya accounting, na niliwaambia data in Kenya si ati iko broad sana, so the opportunity are few unless big company, so they'll just place you in finance. But that is my personal bias, guys. Kama unataka kuchange, you can change. I'm not saying you go and study your domain knowledge, no. I'm just saying if you sasa kama sasa your interest ni health, utaenda kusoma ukuwe daktari, no? Ni vile yule mtu amesoma daktari na anataka kuwa na interest ya data, atakuwa na better advantage than you mwenye umefanya computer science na una background ya data. I hope you guys are not confusing you. So,
Yeah.
for me, I am a better advantage with someone mwenye amefanya data na hajafanya accounting na akona interest na data na tunakompitia the same thing. Basi ati inamaanisha arudi kufanya accounting ili aingie kwa data. No, that is not what I meant by domain, guys. I just meant kama interest yako Barbara ni banking, ukipata kama cashier, ingia nayo, then we understand vile banking inaenda. Ukiwa huko jaribu kuingia kwa department za IT ama kuapply kwa IT because sasa utakuwa na domain knowledge, because even banking is wide. Si hata kuna course inaitwa banking, right?
Yes.
So si must ufanye CPA so that uingie kwa nini. No, that is not what I meant, guys. I just said if you have a domain in something, the better. And that's why nikuambia ukimaliza shule kama wewe Barbara, sasa anza kutafuta kazi kwa banks, whichever now, si must IT. Then once there you understand the domain knowledge, utakuwa na urahisi wa kuingia kwa IT yao. But si must ufanye accounting ama banking ili wako kwa bank under data. No, that is not what I meant. Yeah. Huyo mtu amefanya hiyo analyst actually ni watu tu IT. Ni vile ni mingi. The other day I was seeing a company called There's a company, I don't know, it deals with data. Walikuwa nataka mtu wa ED, hata I never knew there's something called ED analyst. So yani the analysis is so wide depending on domain knowledge, but si ati inamaanisha uende ukasome hiyo kama it's not your interest, so that you get, you waste a lot of time. Do you know sahi kumaliza CPA, it takes a lot of time unless you are dedicated to that. So that is not what I meant, Barbara. I hope you are at the par.
Yeah, I understand you.
Yeah. So kama interest yako ni banking, we menja na kazi za banking, tellering, ukipata uingie nayo, ukipata anywhere, hata kama ni customer care, then once you are in, you start looking for your way to understand the system and get in.
I have a question.
Okay.
Ya mwisho. So when, let's say for example, I'm looking for a role in data. Like sasa, like right now when I'm doing computer science, see, but it's a bit better to have the data science label ama data science course in general label ndo, let's say for example, kama for your company I might end up in the IT department rather than, okay, hiyo itakuwa better than for you who had like a background in econ stats to end up in the finance department, because whenever I am with like doing nina interact na people in data, most of them wanakwanga na background ya economics na pia statistics. So as a computer scientist, you're there juu haujui how the finance ama the economic side of nini na work. So is it better to address my role as a data scientist, especially kama we ni computer science, like ukiapply una apply on the hiyo IT department hiyo ndo unataka?
Okay, what happens? I don't know kama umeangalia any banking, any job application ya data science.
Nimeona several which data science na nimeona data engineering mostly, and pia kwa kine wakiannounce analyst huwa wanaeka by analyst, that like kama ni analysis inakwanga specific, ni very rare upate wameweka data analyst hivyo peke yake, but data scientist na data inakwanga clear, but for analyst inakwanga mbele, inakwanga na a specific domain, let's say by analyst hivyo, kama vile umesema ile ya EDE hiyo analyst hizo.
Yeah, hata kuna pia bwana. So what you do guys, once you are done with school, hata kusumbuka nilifanya ina sina hii, because hata sisi Econstat pia tuko na disadvantage. Si ati kumaanisha data ina favor watu Econstat, no. Nimewaambia data in Kenya imekuja juzi as a course, kitambo ikuwa. So the reason nimekuuliza kama umeangalia job application, utapata these people want a data science, for example, like cooperative imekuwa ikiadvertise for data for long, data scientist. Utapata wanataka mtu amefanya degree ya constat, statistics, computer science, so you are still covered ama data science. Don't struggle with how you label yourself. Once you are out, you guys, usisumbuke sikufanya, work with what is in your hands. Nimefanya computer science, I start applying for jobs. At entry level, no one cares about hizi vitu sana. Ati then nini, unapatanga hata most kama huyo Susan Gatura. Susan alikuwa anasema yeye alianza kama finance. As I've told you, there was no something like data pure. But once you are in, unaanza kuwa exposed to vitu kama SQL, una gain interest. So once you are out, don't struggle. Nimefanya computer science is not labeled as data science. Na ukipata opportunity ya data science, una apply. Ukipata analyst, apply everything. Don't limit yourself na usianza kusema wacha nirudi shule kufanya hivi. Actually mimi, I discourage people from kumaliza shule unarudi shule tena for maybe masters na ujaingia ground uone if this is my interest. I discourage that. Currently the market is so much into experience, so if you continue hunting papers upon papers na una experience, bado watasema uko overqualified. So note about that. So once you're out, try to just look for usiangalia ati if you're qualified for 80% of the application, just apply. Now don't say no to yourself. Hata mwenye maitaro akwe ndio wana kudisqualify, not yourself. So once you're out there, don't start looking for my degree is a constata, unataka data na sina. My degree is computer information systems na unataka nini. No, once you are in, apply as many jobs as possible. Don't look at the labels. Then once you are in, start building from there. But usianze kurudi shule tena na ujaingia kwa job market hata ujiambie this is what I want to do. No, me I discourage that because I know it will cost you a lot. Hata kama mzazi ana insist fanya masters, unajua hata hujajua if this is what I want to do in future. Watu wanaenda nje wanapata nilienda kwa ina mi staki hii, because Kenya is also obsessed with papers. Na hii background ya tech, it's more of skill based. Si ati na kudiscourage from masters. If you find someone to sponsor you, take the opportunity, but take it as, usitake kwenda full time sana. Ingia pia ukitafuta a job in that industry. You understand? I don't know if I've answered you, Nancy.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
answered my question.
Yeah. Avoid kwenda kufanya masters kama hata una experience hata internship or anything, because unaweza fika huku upate this is not even my interest. Na hata computer science I've said there are so many lines. Kuna watu wa security au ni wenye check mambo na password kama data imeibiwa. Kuna watu wa admin au ni wenye upeana ma logins hizo rights. Kuna watu wa data engineering wanasema wakupull data. Yani the IT is so wide guys, don't limit yourself. So usianze kusema ati nianze kufanya CPA ili ingie, no, utaanza kujiconfuse. Once you are out, check what is in my hand, then start looking for, try as much as possible kupata opportunity ya where I am. Ukipata IT hata kama ni shule, ingia, no more. Yeah, sisemi uende uongezee papers ama kama opportunity hata kama ni ya IDE, whatever analyst wanajiita, we apply. Then once there, you'll find your interest, because sahi huwezi jua interest kama hujaexposiwa. Kama mimi, and if I never came out and think my interest is account, because I even never knew something like data existed. So the more you expose yourself ndio utajijua, but usiende kuongezea masomo ingine ati sasa umefanya computer science unataka lebo ya data science. No, it won't work. Si poa. Another question. Another question. Guys, mnanisikia?
Yeah, personally, I don't have any more questions for now.
Any other question? How are you guys looking for jobs? Barbara, unaanza kutafuta job hadi now that you're finishing. Unajua you guys, me and no one to show me that future. I guess this we are generation ya tuliambiwa tu we get good grades and everything will work out. I hope hamna hiyo mentality. Yes, Bosco?
We can't hear you.
Mnanisikia sasa?
Yeah.
So concerning the job marketing, hapo kujimarket kwa semangaje, kujieka kwa market concerning your job and the environment you're currently working on. Nasemanga it's better saizi ujimarket than ungoje ile time uanze kujimarket ati I'm working under this, or I have this degree, or I have this thing this and this and this and that. Currently there's an organization that I'm invited to work. A friend of mine from KU ndo ameniorganizia that ni work under yeye, so that one at least inakupea network from that point, that next time in case someone looks at your CV, that where did you work and how did you work and which knowledge do you have on the industrial environment. At least that one you will answer that question perfectly than kungojea at your time ifike haujui anything, you don't know what to do and what else do the industry needs and the technology used during that time. Najua saizi technology ina develop every time, na saizi yenye unasoma kwa shule it is totally different na ile yenye utapata kwa industry, because saizi unaweza, for example, let me say, under currently I'm under software development. So saizi unaweza kuwa unasoma HTML, CSS and other things, then ukienda kwa industry utapata another language called Ruby and you don't know anything about it. Unapata language yenye it is totally different na yenye umesoma kwa class. So hapo hivyo kwa job marketing, and the best part, unaona ukienda kwa LinkedIn utapata different people and different with different type of job nini yenye wanapea, hata mpaka internship ya just to volunteer and to do one thing then you submit your work. Yeah, so everyone just try to participate. Unajua marketing, kujimarket saizi it is better than kungojea hiyo time ifike. Thank you.
Wow, I like your idea, and I like that you have found an opportunity when you're in school. That is what I was talking about. Out here guys, mi hata nilikuwa naambia watu when we start arguing about education system in Kenya, I don't know if I have bias or what, but nilikuwa naambia watu I wish mtu akitoka high school hivi anapelekangwa industrial, like zinaitangwa aji, what we used to call apprenticeship. Kama unataka engineering unapelekwa kwa engineering company, yani you experience the environment because before uende shule, so that you know if this is what I want. Because personally ningeambiwa finance iko na long working hours, mi hata singe nini. My dad used to tell me this banking thing, once you start growing old hautawezana nayo because of the hours. And right now where I am, I can see what he used to say. Na si ati na regret or anything, but it's something that I would get, like I would want to get out in future, because at times you have a family, job inakurequire day to day, una work late. Na si ati nasema ni mbaya, but ni ile nasema at times what is taught in class, as Bosco is saying, is so much different. Unaenda kudhani una balance vitabu tu, but there's so much. Unapata at times the work is so heavy, kama vile nilikuwa naambia where I am, accountants are required to know SQL, of which mtu accountant anafanya CPA au ni interest ya hiyo. So exposure is everything, but I'm not saying uji over nini na tools. Kama Bosco umeenda ukapata yes, there's that language called Ruby nayo, but don't, mwenye hajapata hiyo opportunity usiendelee kuongezea tools beyond what you know. Master what you know. By then no one will teach you mastery, guys. What you've learned in class is 25%. 75 ni wewe. Hakuna mtu atakumasteria tool, ni wewe. Na vile amesema ukienda upate a new language perfect, but kama ujanini usijisumbue na sijui what is Ruby. No, if him has gotten that opportunity ataende nayo I perfect, but kama ujanini usiongeze more than perfect what you already know. That is what I would say, because honestly Kenya pia nimekuja kurealize people don't like to do the handwork. Mtu ataona umefanya kitu anataka kuifanya, but after 6 months your excitement imeisha. So even discipline pia ni muhimu. Yeah, any other question? Or something else nimenote nani akiongea. Guys, also perfect your soft skills. Most watu IT wanaambianga they don't know how to communicate. You guys are mostly into the technical. Like you are not able to express yourself. So ukiwa tu hapo shule unaangalia tu YouTube mambo na communication skills, public speaking. If you have some money you can invest in some classes, it will help you, because you also not your life will not be involved around machine. Are you able to manage stakeholders? At times data analysts hata sidhani wanakuanga na job description, because after hizo reports nilikuwa nawaambia by afternoon like I am free, but unapata umetuma report, maybe CFO ana question, anakupea swali lingine ya kwenda kuinvestigate, mbona iko hivi, mbona this, like the whys. I know you have heard of that question in data analysis. People don't care about the tools, they want the whys. why is this and this. Hata it doesn't want to care if you used SQL at zero what. Yeye anataka kujua mbona namba zake zinaenda chini. Do you know to manage stakeholders? Do you know to talk to them? Are you able to communicate your, like, I'm angry na mkubwa wako, are you able to sort out the difference, ama kumwambia in a way that I'm disrespect but your point is home. So also invest in communication skills, na hiyo si kitu ngumu. Enda YouTube, soma the communication skills, mambo ya try to kujifundisha pia. Huku corporate mostly people use one language. When you express yourself, kama ni English, jaribu kuongea English pekee without meeting with Kiswahili. Si ati ni must, but itakusaidia sana especially kwa interviews, kuavoid hizo filler ones. Try to nini communication skills, up na communication, enda kwa interview. Na pia nyinyi wenyewe mnaweza, like hii group, mnaweza amua tufanye communication skill, tuanze kujiscreen sisi wenyewe. Leo Nancy ndiye anajiintroduce, Bosco na Barbara ndio wanamuinterview. Tell us about yourself. Try to, if you have friends you can mirror yourself with. You guys mko student, you have a lot of time. Try to do that. Work on your communication skill before utoke shule. Yes, Barbara ulikuwa umeinua mkono.
So, which skills are most in demand in the market right now? And how do we as young people who are transitioning from school to the job market, like how can we apply for those jobs and stand out?
Wow. Skills in terms of, because you're already in computer science, your skills maybe in IT, languages za programming or something like that, ama unamaanisha aje?
Like in data, when I want to apply for a role as a data analyst.
Of course, data analyst sahi, as I told you guys, Kenya is a developed data yao vile, because kama mimi, when I realized nataka data, I started code emailing. I did a lot of things. Nilianza code emailing, nikaanza LinkedIn. If you check my LinkedIn, I've been a bit active. So in that's how I found Kenya is appreciate data, because supermarket wanahitaji data analyst. Ni ukweli, but utapata ule mtu because akona accountant anampea namba zake, aoni aja data sana. So of course in the world of data, kuanza sana ni analyst. I guess analyst is the low level of data, na that's when nimewambia mta interact na the front end of data. So that's like the entry level of anything data. But because you guys have a background in IT, mnaweza ingia kwa science, data engineering. So there's no on-demand skills sana. I'll just say whatever, try to, kama vile Bosco amesema, try to market yourself and see what is available, anza nayo. Ukiona it's not your thing, try to reposition yourself to something else. But data analyst is the easiest kuingia kwayo. But unaona mtu amefanya computer science akuje kufanya data analyst, na it was not anaweza kuwa limited, because kwa data analyst hakuna like programming. Si ni kweli Bosco? Kwa data analyst hakuna vitu kama programming, mostly ni kuanalyze data na kupeana insights. Something like business analyst, that's a higher level. Juu kama where I work, business analyst ndiye manager wa data, alafu ako na mkubwa wake anaitwa strategy. So there are a lot of opportunity, but kuanza ni data analyst. But because you guys there's a lot of opportunity guys for you when you wanamaliza shule, because of internships, hizi trainees za companies. I will just tell you, be active na kuapply. Sahii mnapaswa kuwa kwa groups kama za My Jobs Kenya, subscribe to their emails every day. Kuwa na time ya kuwa mnaangalia job opportunity. By the way, take searching for a job like a job. Umesikia Nancy? Ukuwe na structured time. Unajiambia leo, this my day, nikimaliza classes 1 hour ni ya kuangalia job, wanataka nini sina. Job entries every day. I also do that when I get into jaribu kuangalia the market, nini imeadvertise yenye naweza ingia. Because for me, I guess mi nilimaliza shule. You see, for us, like our upbringing ilitufunza like the employer will look for you, no one is coming to look for you, ni wewe ndio utamtafuta, na usiende job market na hiyo entitlement, it will mess you up. So structure your time 8 to 9 today. Nikiingia hivi 30 minutes ya kuangalia LinkedIn jobs, my jobs Kenya, kina I don't know the current ones sahi, Brighter Monday, all those check. Hii hour ni ya kuupskill. Na guys, if you want to master something, take at least 1 hour ama 2. Kuna kitu inaitangwa consistency. Kama ni language una try kumaster, maybe Python ama let's say kitu kama SQL, at least an hour of your day Monday to Saturday ama Monday to Friday inapaswa kuwa dedicated kujua nini mgeni kwa hii kitu, because what will tell us you know something si interest, it's how much time you have put. Simesikia hiyo saying ya Bruce Lee, I don't fear someone who has practiced 10 kicks 1,000 times, I fear someone who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. So you have heard of that saying, right? Umesikia hiyo Bapru, umesikia hiyo saying? Are you people on the call? Ama
Yes,
mlilala?
yes.
We tuko.
Have you heard of that saying? Bosco, have you heard of that saying? I guess it's Muhammad Ali.
No, not yet. Then
Muhammad Ali alisema I don't fear, he was about akasema I don't fear someone who has practiced 1,000 kicks 10,000 times. I fear someone who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. If your tool is like, for example, personally, I've decided to master Excel. If your tool ukiamua kupick Power BI, know the ins and out of BI. Every day 30 minutes 1 hour, jaribu kujua what else can I know. By now unapaswa kuwa unajua YouTubers wote wako kwa development Bosco, kama that is your line. If my line is Excel, I should know all the YouTubers wenye wameongea about Excel mpaka nikawa exhaust. Na by the way, before you pay for a course, exhaust what is free first. Mmesikia hiyo nayo Nancy?
Yes, I've heard of that.
If you are planning to buy a course on Python, make sure you exhaust what is free on YouTube first. Msirukia courses. Courses ni poa, but practice fee ina matter. Unaweza buy course na isikusaidia. So my saying is, once you're in school, dedicate at least 1 hour kwa chenye unataka mpaka you master. That's how you pass interviews, you guys. Kama you guys mmefanya Nancy, mmefanya SQL.
Yes, tumefanya.
Do you know CTs?
No, CTE najua CTF tu za nini za cybersec, sijui CTE.
Sasa unaona sasa bado ujue SQL. Na by the way, even someone in data, one of those wako banki waliniambia if you want to go find data analysis, SQL is a must. So by now you guys master SQL. That's something you cannot avoid in data, because it's the link between databases na the watu wanaenda kuzitumia. It's the language. Si unajua SQL ni ya kuquery database.
Yes.
You already know that. So master SQL. No, enda kwa YouTube, tafuta every day, jaribu kuangalia something to do with SQL. At least know that first. Because hata huko wana integrate, kuna integration ya SQL na Power BI. So before you go to other things, at least I'm just using that as an example, sija kulimit. Kama Bosco amesema nini yake ni ya development. By now Bosco, how many YouTubers do you know are development? Bosco, I'm speaking to you, na time inaenda tukue fast.
Currently the YouTubers, I'm not used to YouTube, but I'm used to LinkedIn.
Sasa LinkedIn itakusaidiaje bro? LinkedIn si mostly ni writing. Unaona sasa at least umepick something from there here. By now, unajua hata kuna tuulizo, unaweza enda ulizo hivyo kwa interview. Do you know right now YouTube is so major, unapata mtu amespend 24 hours for nini? Kwa kulearn inaitwa Python. alafu niambie boss kuja interact na YouTube ni LinkedIn. Hata usiambie mtu hiyo kitu kwa interview wewe. LinkedIn ni ya kujimarket but si ya kulearn. Or what platforms are you guys using to learn?
Currently I can defend my question or my answer. The reason why natumia LinkedIn is because naweza patana with someone knowing a certain object or a certain thing, ndio sasa naenda DM yake, then we go step by step for guidance, because one on one it's better than unaenda kwanza kwanza like something kwanza like
Okay, saa hii nikikuuliza offhand, nini umemaster? What your master tool? If someone wakes you up na swali you'll be, kuna mtu alichallenge watu akasema hao watu wanasema wana kazi, tuambie one thing you are good at, hata kama ni sweeping ama cooking. So Bosco, what are you good at in your field of computer science?
currently I'm doing the web development and software development, and currently I've emphasized on front end, and I'm doing the back end. I'm learning the back end.
Huwezi kuna learn back end na front end at the same time na uja master one.
I've
See,
just
those are two different.
I've just mastered the front, and now I'm currently learning the back end, because step by step you build up the house.
Sasa kwa hiyo step and step, I'm telling you kuongezea blogs, don't leave YouTube guys. Don't underestimate the power of YouTube. Nancy, how many YouTubers do you know kwa line yako?
I mostly go to YouTube when understanding. Okay, I know the ones for computer science. For, let's say, for example, when I want to master something on hardware, but on data, I usually go to YouTube when mastering the tools. But currently, I got a free data camp. I got a free data camp access, so I'm usually so much into data camp, because there's an instructor who is actually instructing you like how YouTube does. So I leaned more on data camp.
Or at least that's nice. But my nini is, guys, don't underestimate our YouTubers. Something you can get in YouTube yenye kufunzwa class, and it's part of mastering. Nishawambia, no one fears you for practicing 10,000 things. Mtu atakunini that you mastered 10,000 nini in one kick. So take a
Actually,
and
for
master it.
computer science, I've actually used YouTube my whole first year, third year. It's just YouTube, because you see, hadi I know kama it's this specific unit, I know which YouTube channel I'll go to, because computer science, actually you can't survive without YouTube. Yeah, I actually get why you're advocating for YouTube.
I'm advocating for it because of mastery. And if you have some cash, enda ununue kitabu inaitwa Mastery. I don't know if you guys have interacted with someone called what is his name, this guy ni public speaker Kenya, young person wa Lubengo. Have you heard of him? I've told you about soft skills. Umesikia wa Lubengo?
No, I've not heard of him.
Yes. Walubengo hata alini challenge. Okay, I've had hiyo nini, but that guy alikuwa anasema yeye alikuwa interested na public speaking, na mzazi alikuwa na receipt, because Kenya of course we're into traditional careers. That guy alini challenge that. Alikuwa anasema alienda akasikiza nini za Vusi kwa YouTube like 100 of them. That is what I mean mastery. See, must YouTube, but for now I wonder which other program you can learn from, because LinkedIn is good, but ya kuinteract na watu, but I'm saying about mastering your technical skills. So that guy says, amesikiza kina, who is this guy, PLO, kina, that guy Vusi, the Mbokayo, those are public speakers. You can go and search them. Like 100 of their videos. Na ukimsikiza yenyewe ako na content. Hivyo, that is what I mean. If Nancy, you've gotten a data camp, yes. But still, my advocacy is mastery, where whichever you use, but the University of YouTube still remains. Sisi company natulipianga Udemy, but hata huwezi compare content ya Udemy na YouTube. Na sisemi uende ukafuate tutorials kama una watch movie. Fuata step by step, and also you guys have a opportunity to build your LinkedIn. Ukifanya experiment with LinkedIn, enda uweke project zako hapo. Yeah, so YouTube ni muhimu, and ni vizuri kuinteract na msijigate na Kenyan market, gauge yourself with the global market. I think nilikuwa nimeambia Nancy hiyo Kenyan market ita develop nini sana, but once you get yourself with our international nini, pia na kusaidia kuona yenyewe sija master so many things. So si ati inainsi sana kama uko na vitabu, yes, but my point is mastery. If today someone pits you on SQL, do you know the ins and out of SQL? Na umejiadvertise vile nani alikuwa anasema LinkedIn, mpaka nikiangalia nini yako naona tu SQL kwa LinkedIn, na nenyewe huyu mtu anajua chenye anasema. And that is my point. Yeah. I don't know if there's another question. Time is far much gone. Nancy, we need to conclude in the next 2 minutes.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess we're done. Adi, we have extended with 40 minutes, but it was not a waste of time. Actually, it was so much insightful. I've learned a lot. Mastery is something that I was actually thinking of. I was like, if I'm asked to do what I was asked, if I was asked something on, let's say, data, what can I say offhand without even being referring to something like how I'm used to right now. And thank you so much for your willingness to come here. I know so many people have gained a lot, including the ones that are transitioning to the industry, and also us who are like in third year, even in second year, first year. We've learned a lot. Thank you so much, Kawira, and I'll be inviting you for more sessions, especially on Excel, because you've said it's your area of specialty, and we started it last the first session was on Excel, and I know there's so many parts that maybe we were not good at, that when you come in, you can help us fine tune. I'll look for a specific thing, and then I'll ask you if you're comfortable leading us, and then that day you can come, and then you can just show us all the things on Excel, even if it's not practical, but you can just say it and then we can note down so that we can know where to read. It's like when you're going to YouTube, let's say Power Query, and we go to YouTube, we know what exactly we expect to learn from Power Query. So thank you so much. And yeah, you're welcome more and more and more and more and more. That's on my end. Yeah. So yeah, if there's no more question, I guess our meeting will end there. Thank you everyone for joining, and thank you so much, Kawira, for sharing your knowledge and expertise with us. Yeah, that's
Okay,
it
thank
for
you.
today's meeting. I'll send for the people in GTG who came in late, I'll send the recording to the group, and also I will upload it on our YouTube channel so that you can keep referring to it whenever you want to, if there's something you've missed in the meeting. Yeah. So thank you so much.
Thank you guys. I appreciate your time. Yeah. Next time you can always plan. I'm always available. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Barbara, ni kama ulikuwa na swali. Ama tuseme next time, because time is also far much gone. So next time come prepared with question, guys. Then maybe Nancy anaweza nipea before that, so I'm able to research. Si ndio?
Yeah. Iko
That is
sawa.
fun. So
Mm.
until next time, good night. Thanks.
Okay. Good night. Thank you.